In the early hours of Easter Monday, April 24, 2011, firemen in Nottingham, East Midlands, England, were dispatched to a home fire in Georgia Drive, Redhill, Nottingham. As they extinguished the fire, they discovered a human body, possibly that of the homeowner, Jacqueline Bartlam, aged 47. A ball-peen hammer was discovered nearby. However, her 2 sons and family dog were not discovered at the location. Jacqueline Bartlam was born as Jacqueline Bryan in 1964. On November 11, 1996, she gave birth to her first child, Daniel, with her boyfriend Adrian Bartlam. They got married 3 years later. However, it did not last long, since they divorced in 2005, shortly after the birth of Daniel's younger brother, Dominique. A few years later, Jackie, as she was known, met Simon Matters in a nightclub. They took a fancy to one another and married. Simon stated that Jackie's kid, Daniel, enjoys watching horror films and playing video games all day in his room. In 2010, his mother reported him missing, and police found him walking near Nuffle, a village in Nottinghamshire. Daniel was referred to a school counsellor in May of that year, following an incident in class, in which he grew enraged and began yelling at his tie, which he dubbed Fred, and said that Fred was attempting to harm him. Daniel also informed the counsellor that he was tormented by voices in his head telling him to harm those close to him. After several years of marriage, Jackie and Simon split. Jackie and Daniel, like a single mother parenting her children alone, are said to have quarrelled on occasion during this time, albeit no physical violence was reported. Jackie referred to Daniel as a freak during their dispute a few hours prior to the murder. In her community, Jackie was renowned as a gentle woman with no adversaries. The murder shocked the local community and those who knew her. The autopsy result confirmed that the burnt body was Jacqueline Bartlam, who had been battered with a claw hammer rather than a ball-peen hammer, as discovered at the scene. As a result, investigators questioned Jackie's 2 surviving boys. Daniel claimed that an intruder had broken into their home. Dominique, on the other hand, disagreed, prompting investigators to get suspicious and Daniel to revise his narrative. He was apprehended after officers discovered Daniel's computer had been wiped, which ultimately made Daniel admit that he was the one who killed his mother in an altercation. However, authorities refused to believe him, believing that the murder was premeditated. Daniel murdered his mother while she slept, beating her head 7 times with a claw hammer. The murder occurred after he was being inspired by a story, which was made up by himself. Detectives retrieved Daniel's computer's deleted contents, which contained a tale about a character named Daniel Bartlam who murdered his mother with a hammer. He was also influenced by the plot of Coronation Street, a British TV soap opera in which the character, John State, murders a lady with a hammer and then burns her body in the wreckage of a tram to make it appear that she was hit by a tram. Police discovered the murder weapon, a claw hammer, in Daniel's bedroom, which he kept, but he placed the ball-head hammer at the scene of the crime, contrary to the autopsy results, in order to mislead people into believing it was the work of an intruder who dropped it while fleeing. His trial started in February 2012. Daniel Bartlam, 16, was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison, with a minimum of 16 years.